Hello, this is Mari Moraga.
And this is John Ramos, and this is Familia Flamenca Podcast.
Welcome, guys. So I don't know which episode we are, but since today we agreed, Joanna and myself, at the same time that we will be talking about all the topics that you leave on the link below on our forum, on the survey that we have below. I have an amazing book which is called Historia de la Guitarra Flamenca by Norberto Torres, Flamenco Guitar History. Okay. So it's a really nice book. It's really easy to read. It's in Spanish, but we will try to cover and go through different chapters on our next episodes. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll be covering that book. Basically, I was I was looking at the cover. It says the groove, the rhythm, and the compass. The compass is basically the tempo. So I think it'd be a good thing to talk about. It has a lot of topics. Mostly like the history of flamenco and yeah. But yeah, you want to start, Mario?
yes. So let's start with the chapter number 1. Okay, in which more or less you will learn why flamenco guitar is flamenco guitar today. Because today, when we hear about flamenco guitar, we think on Paco de Lucia, Ali Meola, Antonio Rey, and okay, that's part of the flamenco guitar history for sure. But it was created because of something and so many things that happened before that, no? So you will see myself looking here because I have more or less my structure on my phone. The idea is to, okay, introduction for a flamenco guitar. So we talk also with Joan sometimes. Flamenco guitar didn't start in the conservatories on private lessons. Flamenco guitar was something that people used to play for accompanying people who sing and dance, usually on gypsy parties and on family parties on the south of Spain. Okay, this is more for me the root of the flamenco guitar. So there were not falsetas, there were not melody, there were
Mhm.
not clean movement, there were not techniques. It was rasgueo, chords, rhythm, and accompany the people who were singing and dancing. Okay, it's more we were the person in charge of giving the groove and the rhythm feeling for the
Mhm.
juerga, for the party, for the celebration. Okay.
Yeah, it was a very prehistoric way of flamenco back then.
So then if we want to talk also about like different situations and different like the most important places in which it start to happen, we have to talk about Cádiz. Okay, remember that in Andalusia we have 8 different provincias, like small states.
Hmm.
Okay, um, and Cádiz is the most south one. And Cádiz was so famous and a really important city because it were the big boats used to arrive from America, Europe, and Africa.
Mm.
So it was a port, boat port. I don't know how to call that,
Hmm.
but a port in which people from all over the world used to get into Spain. Okay, so it's an amazing cultural city with influences of people from all over the world, so much
Mm.
activity, and so many people that knows that people from with much money used to arrive to the city. So those people from Cadiz used to find the best way to make money
Mm.
thanks to this situation of new people coming almost every week. Okay,
So it was basically like a merchant port, right?
that's it. That's it. And
Mm.
it's happening today. We also
Wow.
have another one, which is the Algeciras one, but this is a more modern one. The Cadiz city one was the most important, like for a long time ago. Okay, so here you will identify the first gypsy parties
Mhm.
around this big environment. Okay, so we cannot say the first, okay, because wherever a gypsy is, there is going to be a party around itself. But we have to talk about things that we know that are write down on books about people that already worked and investigate about it. Okay, so makes sense that Cadiz City, because of all the activity that they had, because of the boats and all the big boats arriving, it was moments in which people used to pay artists to have their own parties when they
Mm.
arrived to the city. Okay, so most of them will be 90.9%, 99.9% could be gypsy people. No, so what is happening on those parties? The guitar is already into it, into them by accompanying singers and dancing, but the guitar is necessary to keep and get the Spanish sound and feeling to
Mhm.
the party, okay, to for the environment, okay.
So I have a question though. How did the like the Spanish music and flamenco start like interconnecting? Since you know more about it.
So I think there is not right now we're following this book, but depends which history flamenco guitar or guitar, flamenco history book you follow.
Mm.
We say a sentence in Spanish: cada maestrillo tiene su librillo. We translate, it's each teacher, it's going to have its own book. So each teacher is going to have its own version of what happened around the topic that we are talking
Mm.
about. In this case, flamenco depends of which person you read about and which writer you read. You will find different histories. The one that they have and the ones that I learned from Faustino Núñez, from I don't remember the other name. So it's that at the end, flamenco music it's an evolution of Spanish traditional music.
Mm.
Spanish traditional music was something that was created thanks to all the different influences of people from South Morocco, people like the Muslims, uh, Jewish people, all the different cultures that was arriving to Spain and Andalusia during a lot of 100 years. Okay, and flamenco at the end was an evolution of the Spanish music, of the
Mm.
folk maybe Spanish music. Okay, so if we want to talk about dates, we can find like the first flamenco words and the first flamenco things around 170s, sorry, 1700 year year around that. So if you go into the web flamencopolis.com, and also another web which is called El Afinador de Noticias,
Okay.
it has so much information about it. It's something that was created by Faustino Núñez, a really
Mm.
important person today around the flamenco history, and it has a lot of information. But we can say that flamenco it's an evolution of the Spanish traditional music. Okay,
Yeah, we put those links on the bio for anyone that wants to read about that
great.
topic as well. Cool, cool.
Also, we can talk about like a problem that took place on those moments in which guitar was considered something from the outskirts,
Hmm.
something rude,
Yeah,
something
vulgar.
vulgar. That's the word. Okay. Why? Because of it was around the gypsies, and the gypsies are usually not good people or not working people out on the outskirts of the cities on a bad situation with no money, no education. And not now, and I'm pretty sure that it doesn't happen. Maybe it didn't happen. Maybe when we are reading here, because I know gypsies and they are amazing people. But maybe
Mhm.
300 years ago, they had a really bad situation. Is they need to eat.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it wasn't difficult for them to survive, no? And they use flamenco or music in general to do what they know to try to make as much money as they can to survive on these times, no?
Yeah, because I read a lot about it. There was a lot of discrimination against the gypsies back in the um, you know, uh, in the 1800s, and it's still like in the beginning of the 1900s, right? I believe so.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Also,
Mm.
and this is more or less like the roots. If like to understand where flamenco guitar was born, it's not the concerts that we used to watch today. It's something that was born so long, really long time ago, with a different point of view from a different situation. And for us as a guitarist, we were 100% accompanying people. There is no melodies. There is no a moment for myself. It's just to be here to accompany singers and dancers, and we just have to help themselves to do their job as much as better as they can, thanks to us.
Mm.
Okay, but there was a moment in which it started to change. Okay, for example, we will find the moment in which we change and we start creating new guitars with
Mm.
6 strings instead of 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Also, once that we have an extra string, we also have so many extra keys to play around. So more, so many different like opportunities to improve our way of playing and also help the singers to have more keys, more tones to play around.
I can't imagine a five-string guitar.
For me, yeah, also
Mm.
myself. Okay, so we can talk about also like how do you say tratado? Un tratado like a book, like un tratado de guitarra.
Oh, a treaty?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's like a big book in which you live and you write down all the roots and all the information that you have at the moment you had at the moment of
Mhm.
something. So
You
there
could.
is a tratado from Juan
Mm.
Antonio de Vargas,
Mm.
okay, in which they started to talk about flamenco guitar techniques.
Mhm.
Okay, so but flamenco guitar techniques at those points, at those ages, was rasgueo, thumb, alzapua,
Mhm.
and nothing else.
Wasn't it like el toque por abajo, algo así, like
That is
the
toque para abajo. We
mhm.
will be talking about it on some episodes later. But yes, toque para abajo. All the techniques were going down. Okay? All the picado techniques, arpeggio, tremolo techniques, and all the techniques that you see in which the hand is going up, this is something that we took from classical guitar.
Mm.
Okay? And it was a long time after when we started to hear about them. Okay? So what happened was that we created new guitars with these 6 strings. So which I have to talk also about Antonio de Torres, luthier, and Pajes, luthiers.
Mm.
Okay, really important people in the moment in which we started to make this new concept of flamenco guitar, and we will find like an amazing change in which we have better sonority, more volume, more strength of the instrument to
Mhm.
to support the tension of the strings and make able to play and not broke the guitars on the middle.
Mhm.
I think you can look for Antonio de Torres. So we still have some Antonio de Torres guitars around the world, which
Mhm.
you know it's like 5,000, $50,000, $100,000. We don't know how
Does
much
he
it
still
goes,
make
but
him?
sorry.
Does he still make him, Torres?
No, no, no. It was like it's like around 200 years ago. So it's like it was a really long time ago.
So it's kinda like
And
a Stradivarius, right?
yeah.
Guitars. Mm.
Sorry, guys.
Mhm.
By the way, there is a Antonio Rey, the guitarist, today's guitarist.
Mm.
He has a video on his social media in which he's doing a concert with a one Antonio de Torres guitar with
Mm.
more than 100 years.
I have to look it up.
It is a nice video.
Yeah, we
You
can
know.
even link it to the bio as well. That'd be great.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Also, guys, as we talk, we have to take care about their techniques. Remember rasgueo and all the toque para abajo techniques. We will talk about those techniques later on different chapters, different
Mm.
episodes. And also, we delete the pick. We used to use the pick sometimes on all these traditional Spanish music.
Mhm.
Once that we start doing flamenco, we forget the pick and we start playing with finger style. Okay, and so much rhythm and percussion techniques and details and variations to get and give the groove and the swing for the juerga, for the party. Okay, more things to talk about. Let me see. Any question, John? Anything that you want to talk about?
I was just thinking about the pick though, because I mean, so it started kind of like with the pick. What was the name of that instrument that is mostly like Arab?
Yeah, laúd.
Yeah, the oud, because that one is with the pick, right? So
Yeah,
it's kind of like evolved from that, right?
yeah, yeah, and it's also so really typical here in Spain. Still really typical for
Mm.
people who play traditional Spanish music.
With the oud.
Yeah.
Huh.
So where was the flamenco guitar born and start to improve and get bigger? around tabernas, like bars, like tapas bars, like
Mm.
people in which places in which people used to meet to have drink, meet, and have fun. Parties, cafés cantantes. Cafés cantantes were like tablaos of today, but on a different point, with a different point of view. We will be talking about them later on different episodes. But you have to look what is cafés cantantes, coffee,
Mm.
singing coffees. Could be if we translate. Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing a few videos of Paco de Lucia, like playing, what was it, like the Taberna Madrileña?
Yeah, maybe I think
Mm.
today we like the concept that we have on about tablaos. Maybe not today's tablaos, which is a show, okay,
Mhm.
with restaurant dinner and the show. No, it's more okay. It's teaching. We the people are dancing, singing, and playing, and you are down dancing, drinking, eating, or
Mhm.
once that we get into the cafés cantantes and opera flamenca, we will see how it was a not really nice environment. Okay.
That's another topic right there for another episode.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Would be nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, we accompany singers, we accompany dancers, and guitar just have to accompany, and analyze what is happening to just help the environment that the dancers and the singing were creating. Okay, first guitarist that we can start talking about. We can listen and read about El Murciano, El Planeta, Javier Molina. Okay. Um, we used to accompany. Yeah, and thanks to them, those were the first people who started also taking care about getting new things, improve, and start doing an evolution into flamenco guitar. Okay.
So the guitarist wasn't it was an accompaniment, not a soloist back then, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, here I read that there is going to be a moment in which we will be talking about that later in different episodes of the book and also here, because there was a moment in which we started to do falsettas and melody sections, but it
Mhm.
was later in the time. Okay, at the beginning, Rasgueo, thumb, alzapua, and much strumming and rhythm patterns and percussion
Mhm.
to get the swing and get the groove.
So
Okay,
it was just like compass, right? Basically, for the most part.
for sure.
Mhm.
And it is still alive today. Whenever you listen Antonio Rey or Paco de Lucia,
Mhm.
you see on a guitar player percussion details, the swing and rasgueo for sure, and usually the guitar still today it's the one in charge of keep the rhythm and keep the swing of the show, unless we have a cajon player or clappers or palmas. Okay,
Mhm.
but the guitar is still like the root always of the show. Is the person in charge of know what is the melody, know what is the rhythm, know what is the tempo situations, everything. Okay,
Mhm.
and at the end it's like whenever you try to learn and play flamenco, you are obligated in some case to connect your way of playing to this background of the history. It's not just to
Mhm.
learn a solo piece and buy a Juan Martin book or a Juan Serrano book and play a solo piece. It's okay, try to investigate why it sounds like it,
Mhm.
why this is happening on this way, and why flamenco guitar is what is today. It's not Paco de Lucía, Antonio Rey, or Manuel Salucar or Vicente Amigo, which is amazing. And thanks to them, we are on a different moment and on a different history
Mhm.
period of the guitar. But it was something that was created by them thanks to so many things that happened before themselves.
Mhm. Yeah, because I mean, like flamenco music is much more than music. It's a whole language. It's a lifestyle. It's a whole different thing. Than I feel like most like other kind of music. Mhm.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, man, that's it more or less what we covered on the first episode of this book. Remember, Historia de la Guitarra Flamenca by Norberto Torres, Flamenco Guitar History. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's a nice book. Remember, it's on Spanish. But guys, today you can make a photo, you upload them to ChatGPT, and you can translate it to English in just 2 minutes. Okay,
Mhm.
and that's it, guys. Any question, Joan?
I don't have any questions right now. I think I'll probably look into the book as well, and then, in the next episode, we have more to cover. And yeah, I'm actually excited to cover this book. It seems like a
Also, the
really,
second,
really good
the second,
resource.
the second episode. Let me yeah, eclecticisms. Maybe
What's
it's
that?
an eclecticismo in Spanish.
Oh, I don't know that word actually.
So, eclecticismo y nacionalismo en la segunda mitad del siglo XIX. So, we will be talking about what is happening
Mm,
around the flamenco guitar history on the 19 in the middle of 19th century. Okay. So, and the third episode would be is toque flamenco, toque para abajo. Okay.
okay, finally.
Yeah, more or less this one. Today's episode was more like an introduction to get your idea, and we will be getting more into each part of the history on the next episodes. And
Yeah,
that's it.
guys, and then, like I said, like we put the link for the book underneath as well. Just in case you guys wanna buy it, and I'm pretty sure they probably have it in English already. But as you said, you can always like translate on Chat
I don't
GPT.
think
So,
so. I
mm,
don't think so. But
mm,
maybe, but I don't think so. And that's it. And in case that you want, as always, we'll leave on the comments below the survey, the form in which you can leave your topics in case that you want ourselves to talk about something special that you want to hear about.
cool, cool. And also, yeah, don't forget to write. We do have the two forms down in the comments, in like any comment, any kind of topics that you want us to talk about. Feel free to mention them, and then we bring it over to the podcast, and then yeah, so we cover it.
That's it. Okay, Johan, so nice to see you, man. And thanks to all of you guys that are watching ourselves on our YouTube channel. I hope to see you in the next episode. Okay?
Thank you so much, everyone, and ciao. See you guys later.
Bye, guys.